So if you're like most people, you might be dreading that car ride in labor from your home to where you're giving birth, the car ride to the hospital for a lot of us. And there are some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way that I would love to share with you to make that car ride not quite as scary and as smooth as possible. If we haven't met before, my name is Alice Turner. I am a birth doula, a childbirth educator with an engineering degree, and on my channel I make videos about childbirth because I'm a real believer that childbirth is such a life-changing experience and I want you to be as prepared as possible. Now, usually I'm filming in my office, but today, road trip, we are filming in my minivan because we're talking about going to the hospital in labor. And I have got some great tips, things to have prepared for your hospital ride. And we're going to jump right into them. And then after that, I want to go through my best tips for the driver, the partner, usually, who's going to drive to the hospital. Okay, let's get right into this list of items to have for that car ride. Just so you know, in the description below, I have them all listed out to make it nice and easy. The first one is an awesome water bottle with a straw. Now I am using my favorite quirky water bottle from the UK. You might have seen it in another video. It's called the Hydrant because it has this crazy long hydration tube and it makes in the car really easy. So you don't have to do a lot of juggling and sipping and that kind of thing. So a great water bottle is key. Speaking of water, if your water has not broken and you're on your way to the hospital, I really recommend that you put a towel down on the seat before you sit down. That way, if your water breaks in the car, which I have seen before, you will be ready and your seats won't be wet. I like to grab the ugliest towel in the back of the linen closet, maybe even your dog towel, and put one on the seat. Sit right on top of that. The next item I didn't actually bring with me because you don't need a visual, and that is a plastic bag for catching vomit. Not everyone vomits, and it's probably unlikely, but I've seen it before and it can happen. So if you have a plastic bag, have it in the car ready to go for vomiting. The next two items really have to do with if you are needing counter pressure on your back or you're having back labor. If you're feeling most of the contractions in your back, I want you to think about using two different things, one of two things, to make the hospital ride better. So the first thing that I recommend, which is the simplest, and this is a lacrosse ball, or any kind of ball, a tennis ball, some kind of high density ball, you can put behind your back, right where you need that pressure. And you would just put it back there, down here, maybe low, and you can lean on it and give pressure that way. So it is really helpful, and you have that pressure all under your control depending upon how much you lean. The other option, if you have been using it in labor, or if you have one, is a TENS unit. So a TENS unit delivers small electrical pulses, and a link is down below for more information about that. But if you're using that in labor, when you're laboring at home, go ahead and keep that on or turn that on for the hospital ride. The next thing, which I really highly recommend, is a big pillow. So if you want to use a regular pillow from your bed, if you have like a big sort of Euro sham type pillow, that way you can hug it and lean on it in labor. When the contraction comes, leaning and hugging on that pillow feels really good. Now, by this time on your way to the hospital, you'll probably have tried out and felt that forward leaning feels so much better during a contraction than backwards leaning. Leaning back, in the chair, this is not comfortable. We want to lean forward for comfort. And like this, you can still wear your seatbelt that way. And just having a nice big pillow to hold on to. So if I had this and I had my water right here leaning, I also suggest, maybe even moving your chair up a little bit as close as it can be so that you can kind of get some support from the dash too. Just an idea. And then the final idea is One, to help you kind of stay in a zone of relaxation, of allowing the contractions and not worrying about the drive or what's happening. And that would be headphones and your phone, so that you can listen to either music that you've been laboring to, soft music, white noise, or even an app like the Breathe Plus app. I really like for sort of paced breathing. And I like these big giant headphones for labor because they drown out all the noise and make me feel more like I'm not even in labor. I'm not even in a car. So you've got your music to take care of sound. You've got your hydration, your back massage, your plastic bag in case you feel sick, and your pillow. So, but what about the driver? I got tips for the driver next. The driver of the car, of course, has a very important job as well, and it can be stressful. Number one, please figure out your route to the hospital in advance. It is really important. Maybe you have a couple of routes that you take depending upon time of day and traffic. That is really normal, just to have some other ideas. And when you have that adrenaline rushing, you won't have to really think about it. The next thing, partners, you can pre-pack the car while labor is happening inside. That way, when she's ready to go to the hospital, the car is already packed. There's no wait time. Maybe you have to throw in a couple items at the very end. All those items that I just mentioned, it's good to have those in a separate bag. So ready to go. Okay, next for partners, might seem like a no-brainer, but make sure you have gas in your car at all times. So I've been a doula for 15 years, and more than one time I have followed a family to a gas station to get gas on the way to the hospital. No jokes. So make sure you have gas ready to go. That's an easy one. The second thing, which is one that my partner actually gave me a suggestion about, and that is figure out what roads have the least amount of bumps and potholes. And that was such great advice, because for whatever reason, hitting a bump or a pothole when you are in labor is like misery. So if you can find a way that doesn't have speed humps or speed bumps or potholes, so much better. So great for the partner to figure that one out. Partners, when you're driving, calm, eyes on the road. Really no need to be speeding, running red lights, running stop signs. Labor usually takes a lot longer than it feels like, so your calm presence is really all that she needs. So once you get to the hospital, I have a few important things about the hospital bed in this video here that I would love to share with you. Check that one out next, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.